Good morning, this is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here, Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi. Good vach to you, first day of the week, of the full week before Purim. Then we have a few days before Purim. And Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi here is in Yerushalayim Kodesh. On Rehov Zikra Yaakov number 6, not too far from the central bus station, so you can walk from there, take a bus, and drive if you like. And if you're coming from Kutzvahs, please, we'd like your attention and participation very much. We're learning Pirkei Avos right now in the second Mishnah. Shimon ben Atzadik teaches us on three things the Olam is Oimed, Al Torah, Voda, Gimel, Society. And the Maharal Mitraj we're in the middle of is teaching us many things about that, that since these three things are those things which the world was created for the sake of, that these things exist, we have to realize and understand the basics of existence, which the Maharal Mitraj is teaching us about. And basically, just to make a summary of what we learned up till now, we're learning that everything that exists must be toiv, because if it wouldn't be toiv, it wouldn't be existent, because there must be some reason for its existence. And I think a reason for existence is that it is toiv, beneficial in some way. Even though we may not understand things which are seemingly not good, but they're eventually understood by Kadosh Baruch Hu with his great divine wisdom that they are in fact good. So let's just pick up in the middle here. Maybe we'll start here. Dover Zeh. It's about 7 lines down, the end of the, I think, 7th line. Dover Zeh.
הדבר מתקשר, הדבר הוא טוב, אז ראוי לו הבריאה.
Maybe if you want to maybe outside, do some work outside.
כי כאשר הדבר הוא טוב, אז ראוי לו הבריאה שיהיה נברא ונמצא הדבר שהוא טוב. וכן הדבר קיום רק מצד הטוב בכל ימים נאמר כי טוב חוץ מיום שני. שלא נאמר בו כי טוב ואמרו חז"ל.
Chazal can explain to us why the second day, when the Ma'aseh Brishis, why it didn't say the Lashon Chi Tov.
מפני ששבו ונברא המחלוקת וזה שאמרו המחלוקת שהיה לו לשם שמיים ואין סופה להתקיים כי לא נאמר בזה כי טוב. ואף כי המחלוקת הנברא בעולם יום ב' הוא לשם שמיים והוא צריך עולם, הוא צורך עולם.
And that hevdel between the Mayim Elyonim and the Mayim Tachtonim, whatever that exactly is supposed to represent, right, that was a split, meaning a machlokus. And since there is such a thing as a machlokus which is not l'shem shamayim, ein soifel is kaim, it's not worthy of existing, because it's not l'shem shamayim. And nevertheless, even though this machlokus, this division was something which was l'shem shamayim, nevertheless, right, it wasn't, because of this necessity to split things, that was a reason why Ki Tov couldn't be mentioned on the second day.
מכל מקום, כיוון שמצד עצמו אין קיום, לא רק מצד השם יתברך, כאשר המחלוקת הוא לשם שמיים לפיכך. אין לומר אצלו כי טוב רק בדבר שיש לו קיום מצד עצמו.
This is another basic principle, that you must, for something to be labeled by a Kadosh Baruch Hu Tov, it must be that it has a kiyum, right, mitzad atzmo, meaning it has a reason for being. The reason for being must be in essence that it's good. Not that a Kadosh Baruch Hu wants it to exist. There could be things, as like we see from the second day, that a Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted things to exist, even though that it may have been, like as we said, divisional, and that division is a lack of good, lack of shleimus, a lack of being like a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu, in essence, is echad, right? A unified unification, and anything which is a split from unification is negative Kadosh Baruch Hu. So therefore, it had no essence lifnei atzmo, the actual split that took place. Therefore, couldn't say Ki Tov, and if something has to be labeled Toiv, it must in essence have a kiyum, a worth for existence in itself. ויסבר.
והתבהר כי אין לדבר קיום רק בצד הטוב. וזה כי כאשר יש בנברא חיסרון לכך ואינו טוב בדבר שהוא חסר קרוב על היעדר לגמרי.
Okay, let's look at that for a moment, right? Yeah. Yisbarer, we'll have to be explained. Ki ein ledavar kiyum rak mitzad hatov. The existence of the thing is because it's beneficial. It's the benefit, right? V'zeh ki kasher yesh b'nivra chesoron. And then, therefore, when there is within something which is created a chesoron, a lack, right? Therefore, ein toiv. Meaning, if it has some type of a lack, it's missing something, right? That in essence is not good. It's not beneficial. Something which is lacking. There's a lack in something, right? It's chorev. It's approaching that which is an eder, meaning the other side of things which are not in the bria in terms of creation. There's something which is not belonging to this world, right? Lack, see, the world is filled with things, right? The world is filled with things. So things that exist have this benefit to them, and if there are things which are lacking, right, even though they may exist, but they're not existing by right of their own. They have to exist on right of their own. The right of something to exist because it's beneficial, it's good. If something has a lack to it, something which is lacking, it's approaching something which is the opposite of reality.
Tachlis, everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu makes, there's a reason why he makes it. It doesn't have to be tov.
Right.
That he made it, he's the boss, he made it.
And the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it, and being that it has a purpose, whether or not we understand the benefit in it, but the fact it is existing means that it must be in essence good.
אבל טוב שאין בו הרע וחיסרון, והוא רחוק מן העדר, ראוי לו הבריאה וקיום. והשם יתברך העיד על הכללים שבהם הטוב, אף על גב שנמצא בפרט שלהם, והחיסרון לפיכך הפרטים מקבלים העדר בדויים.
בוודאי. Okay, let's think about this. Good morning, Rafi. Good luck. How are you? Okay. We're in the number 5 there. Continue on with Mara. I'll tell you where we can pick up with us. Yeah, right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay. Actually, let's go to the 5th. About 5 lines of the main line. You have Hashem Yisbarach in abbreviations to the end of the 5th line, not counting that last half line. So it's really 5.5 lines. Okay. Hashem Yisbarach Ha'ed Ala Klolim. We're talking about in the Ma'aseh Bereishis, right? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu said Kitov. Right, Rosh Hashem, the Yom Shlishi or whatever, and it said Kitov. He was testifying that it was good, but it had been created. So it said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Heid Ala Klolim Shebehem. You want to read it again? Yeah.
השם יתברך העיד על הכללים שבהם הטוב, אף על גב שנמצא בפרט שהם החיסרון.
Well, so you may find things in the world, in creation, that have missing pieces or lacking parts, and not completely perfect for some reason or another, but nevertheless, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he testified that it was told, the chesronos were also part of the tov that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had created.
לפיכך הפרטים המקבלים העדר ודאי, אבל הכללים הם עומדים עליהם והעיד הבריאה היא טובה.
Okay, let's start. So again, we have generalities, things which are in general categories, and you have more things which are specifics. So even though the specifics may have individual missing pieces, lack of perfection and kesronos, nevertheless, in general, everything is considered to be good. And we'll discuss after we finish this paragraph why the kesronos are also good.
בכל מין ומין יש בו הטוב. בכלל הבריאה העיד הכתוב. גם כן, עליהם שנאמר ירא אלוקים את כל אשר עשה והנה טוב.
That's also a testimony by Kadosh Baruch Hu that what was created was in fact beneficial and worthy of existing through its fact of being good.
ואין להאריך בדבר זה, כי הם מדברים ברורים ועדים על זה הכל היעדר, ומקבל הנברא והוא מפני החיסרון אשר הוא הרע, הדבק שבנברא מביא אותו על ההיעדר.
Okay, so just to try and explain this a little bit, when we make a bracha achrona, right? So if you're not making a birkas hamazon, and if you're not going to make a bracha mayin shlosh, so you make a bracha, right, brain of fashas. So included in that bracha is this concept that we say Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech olam, borei nefashos rabos. First of all, to create many nefashos, many living creatures, the chesronam, and their lacks, their imperfections. So we finish the bracha. So part of the creation of things is that they have chesronos. Right? Part of the necessity of our making this bracha is we're acknowledging the fact that when we're hungry, that means we're lacking something. Right? We need nutrition. We need to eat, we need to drink. Right? And not only us, but all living creatures in one extent or another, plants, they need water, they need sunlight. Right? If they don't have water and sunlight after a short amount of time, right, they're going to just dry up and turn to dust, right? So other animals need other things, whatever they need for their nutrition and whatever they need to keep them going, right? So these things are the lackings that created creatures have built into them. That the Baruch Shalom in creating this world, he wanted to have everything interrelated. So how are you going to have everything interrelated? So everything needs the other species, as the Maral was explaining, each min has its own specific lack, right? So, for example, you have different fish in the sea, right? Some and birds and animals. Some are what they call predators. You know, they go out and hunt, right? Others are vegetants. They just go and eat grasses and things like this. You have a giraffe. Big animal like a giraffe, right? Big animal like an elephant. They're not predators. They don't go out and kill for their they wouldn't. I'm not sure if they would be able to eat meat if they went out and killed something, right? A lion is different. The lion's going to go and attack, right? But a lion, you know, the king of the beasts, usually attacks the weak ones. He usually doesn't attack the strongest of the bunch, right? Because part of what a Kadosh Baruch Hu created is that this lion's hungry. So what's the lion going to do if he's hungry? He's going to go find himself some food. He's not going to be, the Pasuk says, you're not going to satisfy a lion with a bale of hay. You know, a horse would be happy with a bale of hay, or a cow would be happy with a bale of hay. Excuse me?
You order pizza.
Yeah. So they're not interested in going out and jumping on animals and killing them, right? You have chickens, you know, they peck around and pick up all the little chitim and little pieces of bread on the ground, and they clean up the ground. It makes the ground clean. So they're not interested in killing you. You have a falcon, you have an eagle. They'll go out and they'll catch something and they'll eat it, you know, live. So the Ramban actually mentions this in terms of the kashrus. That he says that part of the background of those things which are permissible and things which are usher, those animals which are predators, like birds and other animals, since they have a teva of xarius, right? So by eating these things, it inculcates, it brings into us this teva of xarius, which the Torah wants to. All the animals that we eat are basically docile, very tame animals, right? Even the wild ones, deers, which are permitted, they don't usually. They're also they're happy to eat leaves and things like this, apples. They're happy with apples and leaves. Same with you, like you have this big giraffe, like I started off, big elephant. They're happy with hay, happy with eating leaves. Why the giraffes have such big necks, so they can get to those good fruits and leaves up in the trees, right? So a lion is interested in the weak animals, because why? Because that's the way that Kadosh Baruch Hu made the food chain, as they call it. That when an animal is weak and can't support itself, so it lags behind, and then the lion who's hungry gets hold of the weak ones. It's usually not, unless it's in a very bad situation. He's not going to attack a fully strong animal, right? He doesn't want to fight even the king of the beast. He's lazy, basically. He doesn't want to get to a fight that he can't win. So so he's not going to go after big animals and strong animals. He'll go after the weak ones, and that keeps things just like the ants. They go picking up all the dirt around the floors and the fields, and they pick up all the loose weeds and they hide them. So that's a way of keeping things orderly. So the chesronos that each creature, each species has within it is a benefit, right? The benefit of the things which are lacking is that things have interactions in ways that we can't really fully understand. Only Kadosh Baruch Hu and His wisdom, who created the world, and allows us to see through some ways, through His Torah, the wisdom behind it. And then we have thanks to give to Kadosh Baruch Hu creating these things. So the benefit in the chesaron, in the lack, in the chesaron, is the fact that things have to intermingle and have to have a beneficial interplay between each other. So likewise, how do you do business? How do people do business? Like if I need shoes, right? Gemara says in Brachas that Tana, the Amora, praised the Kadosh Baruch Hu because he wasn't like Adam Rishon. It said Adam Rishon, if you needed a pair of shoes, you have to get leather, and you have to, tan it. If you needed bread, you have to go through them with 10 malachs. You have to plow the field, plant, water. He said you can eat Baruch Hashem. There's so many people in the world. This is a shoemaker. This is a plumber. This is a baker. He needs bread. He goes to the baker. So he says Baruch Hashem. He's got much better than Adam Rishon. Adam Rishon had to do everything by himself, being covered. He says, Chava, make a pair of shoes. He says, what shoes? So that was after the Chet. Before the Chet, they didn't have to worry about things so much. But
those would be
people,
like our own problems.
well, whatever. We don't want to make our own problems. By avoiding Averas, you'll avoid problems. That's correct. So when people need to do business, you have all kinds of different people. This guy has an idea to do this. He's a tailor. He's a plumber. So the tailor is not a good plumber, and the plumber is not a good tailor. But the plumber also needs a suit, right? So he's lacking a suit. He has the skill to make a suit. He needs parnasa. So because of the lack, people have this interaction between themselves, and that's what keeps things moving. Right? If everything would be absolutely perfect without any chesaron, everything would be static. Everything would just, remain the same. Right? Ideally, for Klal Yisrael, when we want to just simply sit and learn Torah, so the most ideal situation was when we were in the Midbar. For 40 years we were in the Midbar. That's when the Kadosh provided for everything. We didn't have to. At most, you had to go out to the fields to get the man in the morning. Right? That's about it. All they had to do. But as the pasuk Moshe Rabbeinu says, your clothes didn't get dirty, your shoes didn't grow out, you didn't outgrow your shoes. Hashem, just.
But you had Erev and you had Amalek then.
Yeah.
It wasn't Me'achuz. It wasn't.
No, they were. Also, we had the. What is Amalek?
That's two things. 40 years, two things. It's not the. You can't. I'm just saying. It's a. you're right, after the age of 39 years they were alone, but they were still there, you know, and with going.
Right, so Amalek,
And Adam Rishon, it was 100% then? They didn't have any problems at all?
look, take a look at his sons. One son got up and killed his other son. That's a big problem. Huh? That's sorry, give the money right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, problem.
Sure, problems at all.
Yeah, problem. Sure. Amalek also, again, the Rashi brings down that Amalek is like a stick. Like when we don't do our keep the Torah and mitzvahs, so first book says the stick after us to beat us back into line, straighten us up. So again, they can't go overboard. It's limited to what they can do, but and what they should do. If they go overboard, they're going to be held responsible for it. But that's another problem that they have. But without black, so there's very little to do. So therefore you have Torah, Voda, Gimel, Susanim, which all, in one way or another, kind of fill the void. This void, right, which is created by things needing each other. So with Torah and Voda and Gimel, Susanim, you have these three elements which are the kiyum of the oilam, right, on which that Torah is oimed on, the world is oimed on. That Torah gives you the seichel, right, gives you intelligence and how to use your intelligence properly, right, number one. Number two, meaning in terms of when you have Torah, you understand what your goals are. Once you understand what your goals are, so then it leads you to avoda, which is either the base of mikdash with korbanos or prayer. So when you understand your goals, that's through Torah. Then you have prayer. Then you have to ask Kadosh Baruch Hu, for helping you fulfill what you need to try and do in life. And then finally, you have Gimel Society, through each one helping the other, right? They can, within the community, fulfill what they need to do. Okay, let's continue. Maybe one or two paragraphs, we'll see if I finish it up. Okay, Kashar Yisbar, that's the small paragraph.
כאשר יתבהר לך דבר זה, יש לך לדעת כי הנבראים כולם תלויים באדם, שהם באים בשביר האדם. ואם אין האדם כמו שראוי להיות הנה, הכל בטל. וכמו שכתוב בתור המבוא, בבראשית ו', יום השם אמחה את האדם אשר בראתי מעל פני האדמה, מאדם ועד בהמה, עד סוף השמיים.
Okay, so that's the main point we have to try and remember. Everything was created for the sake of man, for Adam. So if Adam was going to be doing what he's supposed to do, right? Mainly Torah, Voda, Gimel, Susanim, everything has fulfillment in this world. And if not, there's no reason for the world to continue. Okay, next, we'll finish up here.
ואלה דברים שזכה בסוף הפרק הם עמוד העולם מצד שלמות העולם, כי העולם הזה הוא בא מן השם יתברך, ועליו שב כאשר הושלם בכך צריך עמודים לתחילתם ושלמתו על ידי שלושה דברים שזכה שמעון הצדיק. בראשונה העולם מקושר בו מצד תחילת העולם, וכך הם עמודים העולם מצד תחילת העולם.
Meaning Shimon Tzaddik is explaining that the connection between the beginning of the world, right, meaning the reason why the world is created, and these three pillars upon which the olam is oimed, that you have two things. You have the beginning and you have the completion. Betchilaso ubashlimaso. So betchilaso, you have that the world was created for the sake of these three things, and these three things are in fact which is going to bring the world to its perfection, to its completeness. Right? The Hashlama, the completeness of the world is going to take place through these three things. Torah, Voda, Gimel, Susanim.
ואלו שלושה שזכה רבי שמעון בן גמליאל, והם עמודים לעולם מצד השלמותו, כי להתחילת הבריאה כתיב בראשית תורה אלוקים צבח והבריאה על השם יתברך, כי מצד התחלת העולם אשר יתברך, התחלת עולם שממנו נברא, יש לעולם קשור עם השם יתברך, וכן מצד השלמה העולם יש לו קשור בין יתברך, והוא שכתוב אשר ברא אלוקים לעשות והרי יבדך, כי העולם יש לו קשור בו יתברך בצד השלמה.
I mean, in order for the world to complete, to be in existence and therefore bring it to its complete perfection, you have to have a kesher to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So these three things are primarily the way a Kadosh Baruch Hu wants those creatures in the world to have a connection with Him through Torah, Avoda, and Gemara society, which is exactly it. When you're learning Torah, you have a direct connection to Kadosh Baruch Hu. When you're praying or you're doing the Avoda in the Beis Hamikdash, then you have a direct connection with Kadosh Baruch Hu. When you're doing Gemara society, you're actually emulating the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And so by emulating Kadosh Baruch Hu, you certainly have a kesher to Kadosh Baruch Hu. And that's going to bring that'll be the hashlama, that'll be the completeness, the fulfillment of the world. The fulfillment of the world is not that it should be that the people have a place to fulfill their desires, right? The fact that the Kadosh Baruch Hu created things that are desirable and created people with desires is only that they should be happy with this world. It shouldn't be just a gray, dull place with nothing, enjoying, no enjoyments in it. Hashem created the enjoyments of the world, so we should be happy with this world in order to serve Him better. So by doing Torah, learning Torah, and Gemara society, and voting, that creates the kesher, which brings a hashlama, brings a completeness and a fulfillment of the world to the reason why it was all created. Okay, Mr. Shem. Go on to the next year, Mr. Shem.